All right, good afternoon, boys and girls. We're on lesson 102, subtracting decimal numbers using zero. All right, so here's our objectives for today. We're going to be able to subtract decimal numbers using zeros and using rounding to estimate the solution to a problem. Here's your math joke. So a teacher says to a student, if you reach into your right pocket and found a nickel, and you reach into your left pocket and found another one, what would you have? And then the boy says, somebody else's pants. Okay, here's our new concept. So what we're doing today is we're subtracting decimals. Okay, as you can see, if we were going to subtract 0.23 or 23 hundredths from 4 tenths or 0.4, what you notice is there's something totally absent right here, all right, that we need to address, which is a zero. And so what you do when you subtract decimal numbers, of course you have to have the higher number on top in order to subtract, and then we need to add a zero in there as a placeholder. All right, there is a zero in there, but when we write 0.4, it appears that there's no zero. So in this case, we're going to add 1 0 to it. Okay, and so then what we can do is we can subtract. When you add and subtract decimals, you always keep the decimal at, make sure that you line those up, okay? It's very important that you keep those decimals aligned when you are adding or subtracting decimals. Now in this case, what we're going to do is we need to regroup because we cannot subtract 3 from 0, so we do 4, take 1 away from 4 and add it to the 0 to make it a 10. 10 minus 3 equals 7, and then we have 3 minus 2 equals 1. And then make sure you, with decimals, you have to carry the decimal down, and then go ahead and put in your 0 placeholder in for the whole number. And 0.17 is our answer for this. So let's go back, make sure that you have a 0 placeholder when you after you line your decimals up. If you have numbers missing, go ahead and put those zeros in so that it'll help you keep track of which math you're doing. All right, so let's go example number 1. A brand X computer completed in a task of 0.4 seconds. A brand Y computer completed the same task in 0.231 or 231,000 seconds, fewer seconds. So what length of time did brand Y computer take to complete the task? So what you're going to do is, because 0.4 is larger, we're going to subtract 0.0231 from 0.4. And what happens is that we don't have the zeros, so we add those zeros in there, and then we can do the subtraction algorithm. So we have 10 minus 1 equals 9 after regrouping and all that stuff. And then 9 minus 3 equals 6. 3 minus 2 equals 1. Make sure you bring your decimal down, and then add in your 0, and then and that's your answer. 0.69 or 169 thousandths is your answer. And then it says here, how can you check this answer to make sure that you're correct? What you can do is you could take the difference here that you got and add it to 0.231, and then you should get 0.4. Okay. Example number 2, a pedometer measures the distance a person has walked. Jaina is walking 3 kilometers to Rochelle's house. While walking at a crosswalk, Jaina notices that her pedometer reads 1.23 kilometers. What distance does Jaina still need to walk to arrive at Rochelle's house? So if it takes 3 kilometers, so what we're doing is we're subtracting 3, or we're taking 1.23 away from 3, right? So what you need to do is you need to add your decimal, because there is no decimal there, and add your zeros in. And then you could subtract 1.23. And then you regroup, of course. You're going to borrow just like you do with normal subtraction. And then subtract 10 minus 3 equals 7. 9 minus 2 equals 7. Bring down your decimal point. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay? So what would the answer be if there was a money amount? It would be $1.77. Okay. Now in example number 3, in 2004, the land area of Laredo, Texas was 83.44 square miles. In 1993, the land area was 44 square miles. between 1993 and 2004, the city of Laredo added about how many square miles? So what we're going to do is we need to take 44 square miles and 83.44, and we are going to subtract the top from the bottom. All right, so what we're going to have is, instead of doing that, excuse me, it says about. All right, that's a key word. Make sure that you read your word problems carefully, because what we're going to do is we're going to round this. Okay, so we're going to use compatible numbers. We're not going to actually round it, because if we do, this would be 83. But let's go ahead and round this to 84 instead, because we have a 4 here, so it'd be easier to do our subtraction in our head if it was 84 minus 44. And then what we have equals 40, and then remember, area is always squared, so it's 40 square miles. All right, now we have our lesson practice. Okay, make sure when you do these, add in your zeros and line up your decimals. Okay, so you're going to transform this into, instead of having a horizontal problem, you want to do a vertical problem. So 0.30, and then put your decimal point 15, and then subtract it that way. It's easier to do it that way. If you have any questions on any of these, make sure you put a star by it. Write your questions on the back of your sheet, and we'll go over them in class. All right. Have a great night, you guys, and enjoy your evening. See you later.